Devnall.
And Roxy Acetylene of Nerd Roller Skates.
Calgary, Alberta's full-service skate shop.
We are roller derby players and roller skate nerds.
And we are here for the people who roll.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, out there in MRDA Champs Land. I'm Randy Pan, the Go Boy.
I'm Dragon Lady.
And I hope you've had a chance to take deep breaths, maybe drink some water, have an aspirin after that last bout. We're all recovering here. It was quite exciting. We're coming up to the first of the elimination rounds here. We got the Maelstrom taking on the Denton Outlaws.
Yes, now every team gets to play twice. It's a double elimination. Now this is going to feed into the winner to play the 5th, 6th place game.
It's tomorrow at 1 o'clock.
And the loser will be
partying.
Yes.
Partying tonight. It's going to be an interesting bout. Denton coming in for the first time, and it had a little bit of a lot of young players in their crew, so they're new, they're hungry, they're coming in.
It's a young league. It
is, and then we got Mass, who is a very experienced league, but a little bit of a shakeup in their lineups. They're missing some players they usually rely on, but they still have the depth of experience.
A lot of injuries for their veteran jammer rotation, which was very hurtful in their shock exchange bout.
Absolutely, but they got a lot of strong players still in there. So it's going to be youth versus experience in this next bout to move on to play for the 5th, 6th seed tomorrow.
Well, and this is the second bout both teams have played today, because obviously this is the first day. And so tiredness is going to come into effect. Veteran teams might have a little better endurance training, or new guys
but
might have them beat anyways, so we'll see.
Denton played the first game, so they've had a little more time to recover and relax and get set for this. They've had a little more time to plan on who they're playing. They got to watch the game, so they knew they were going up against.
And scout their opponent that they're going to be skating against right now.
Taking notes and stuff. So we are going to get ready for this very soon. They will take on whoever wins the following bout, which will be Southern Discomfort taking on the Portland Men's Roller Derby Bridgetown Menace, which should be a pretty exciting bout.
I am looking forward to that as well.
I'm looking very much forward to that. We are going to hand it over to Bulldog and Raucous Ron right now for the coming action.
Here we are, ladies and gentlemen. This is great stuff. Elimination round in the day. Both these teams taking some tough losses early in the day, but this is a great matchup, Bulldog.
Yeah, this will be the first bout in what's colloquially known as the loser bracket, but it is the beginning of the fight for 5th place. Both of these teams have lost in the first round, and they are going to be playing each other for the privilege of going against a Southern Discomfort and Portland's Bridgetown Menace.
Right. The winner of that game moving on as well. So the table is set. The first round action, the first 4 games of the day done. In the first game, we had a victory for Your Mom Men's Roller Derby as expected over the 8th seed Denton County, who we're seeing here right now. In game 2, we saw the Gatekeepers take down Southern Discomfort. Game 3 was the Shock Exchange taking down Mass. Tough loss for Mass. That's why Mass is here right now. And then we just watched the Puget Sound Outcasts take down Bridgetown.
Yeah, I think there was a 50-point differential, a little bit larger than the 2-point last-minute jam when they faced each other previously. But I think the fans were very pleased with the performance of both teams.
Very evenly matched.
Yeah, but this is Mass Maelstrom. I'm trying to remember what Mass Maelstrom's 6th seed. Yes, 6th seed.
Mm-hmm. The 8th seed versus the 6th seed.
Right, and Denton County is the seed number 8. So,
right. Well, let's break down the rosters for them here real quick, and I'll do the Outlaws.
That's a wonderful idea.
Please. We've got number 0, Vanderstelt, 1080, Luke Powell, Cesar Loza Reynosa, 11, Joel Herrera, Trace Maxwell, Charles McLean, TJ Binkley, DJ Isick, Nick Putcher, like put your money where your mouth is, Johnny West, Dennis Hampton, Tim Krugler, Philip Stout, and Keith Rucker. How about Mass?
And for Mass Maelstrom, we've got number 12, Velociraptor, number 13, 37, Gaudette, number 2, Ryan Conlon, number 22, Andy. He's like, it's like Madonna. He just goes by his first name.
Just one name.
Number 32, Pickering, or maybe that's his last name. You know, I should have checked that before. Number 32, Pickering. Number 4, Cormier. Number 40, Mycopathic Chiller. Number 508, No Big Deal. Number 5150, Coulter. Number 562, Colleran. Number 615, Mars Travolta. Number 7, Hasselman. And number 8, Byron.
And we're looking at a Mass team here who's really down in the numbers. They've only brought 13 people here from Massachusetts.
Right.
Many of the teams bringing their full 20, MRDA sanctioned rosters. But, Mass is having some problems with injuries. They've got a lot of new guys in. Andy's one of them. Cormier, another. So the guys are having a little bit of a tough time with that. They lost some very, very important people. One of them.
Look at this development. They are so far away from the jammer line. It's almost as if they prefer, what's that called? The pivot line. Yes, the pivot line. Number 8, Johnny West in the white jersey for Denton County Outlaws against number 508 in the blue jersey for Mass Maelstrom. Those are the jammers. Johnny West up front on the outside, gets passed by No Big Deal, but No Big Deal gets cut off by Trace Maxwell, and Johnny West takes away lead jammer for Denton County. Now on his first scoring pass to the outside, he's caught by Pickering and Mars Travolta. Johnny West still gets muscled out by Gaudette, but stays in bounds. Still looking for that outside lane. Pickering is all over him. He makes him step out, but he comes back in clean, runs it to Hasselman, and gets knocked out. He's going to get recycled back out of turn 3. No big deal. The jammer for Mass Maelstrom has passed the star to the pivot Gaudette, number 1337, who rams into Joseph Stout, who's might want to pull up his pants. Excuse me. Gaudette getting out, completing his initial pass. Or was that just me? Or
Yeah. Well, in shades of the game against New York just earlier today, Mass had to pass the jammer star quite a bit. It was a situation where they couldn't make it through the pack and they were handing it off. And so interesting to come out on the very first jam and see that No Big Deal having a tough time with the defense for Denton County and has to do a star pass to Gaudette again.
It's 4-on-4, and by that I mean the jammers. That's number 4, TJ Binkley, against number 4 for Mass Maelstrom, Cormier. Cormier up front against a 3-wall from Denton County Outlaws, but TJ Binkley sneaking up the inside, gets by Coulter, the last line of defense for Mass Maelstrom, and takes away lead jammer. Denton County in control of the clock. Cormier counter-checking against Tim Kugler to get past the Denton County defense, completing his initial pass, but TJ Binkley slips through the center of the pack, calls off the jam. 4 points for the Outlaws. Mass Maelstrom still at 0.
Wow, Cormier, one of those skaters that's new to this roster. Not sure how new he is to roller derby, but he has, this is his first time playing with Mass in a sanctioned game. So getting out there jamming, that goes to show you how they're a little bit desperate at the jammer position. With Jurassic Park out, their leading scorer for the year. We'd like to give a shout out to him back home, having had surgery recently.
Keith Rucker, X66, jamming for Denton County, gets pulled around the outside, but Mass Maelstrom getting their first lead jammer. Gaudette, though, gets caught by Keith Rucker and opts to play it safe, calls it off. 0-0 jam, still 9-0 for the Denton County Outlaws.
And Rucker with a big high five to his teammates over there as he was tracked down the opposing jammer and prevented any points. This next one we'll see R. Conlon, the captain of Massachusetts. He'll be coming out against West.
So far, only one penalty. That was against number 88, Philip Stout of Denton County. No jammer penalties so far. We've got number 2, Ryan Conlon, jamming for Mass Maelstrom against number 8, Johnny West, returning to the jammer line. Johnny West up against a 3-wall of Denton County, of Mass Maelstrom. Now all 4 skaters as Pickering and Velociraptor catch up. But Velociraptor going to the penalty box on a multiplayer block. And Johnny West has lead jammer now on his first scoring pass for Denton County.
And West, pounding against the wall, decides to call it off as Conlon comes in there. I've got a special shout out here. This is for our Conlon, the captain of Mass, and he wants to give a shout out to his new wife, Elena. So there you go. We care here at WFTD.TV, MRDA Championships.
That's right. This is period 1 of the 2014 International Men's Roller Derby Association Championships, live from Tacoma, Washington. Next up, we've got Byron, number 8, jamming for Mass Maelstrom against TJ Binkley, number 4 in the white jersey for Denton. Byron, they're trying to slip up the inside lane, but gets repelled by Brandon Vanderstelt and Charles McLean. TJ Binkley getting through, but Byron able to get out of the Denton County defense, almost catches up to TJ Binkley, and it's another safety call. TJ Binkley settling for a no score, preferring to keep Mass Maelstrom scoreless.
Yeah, kind of surprising here, Mass Maelstrom, very experienced team coming out here against the 8th seed, and the 8th seed is kind of jumping on them right now, I would say. Wouldn't you, Bulldog?
So far, it's 12-0 in favor of the Outlaws, so far from a commanding lead. Mass Maelstrom not in trouble at this time. But a little bit of a surprise, maybe catching Mass Maelstrom off guard, and also and we cannot forget that Mass Maelstrom was unable to bring their full roster, including Jurassic Park, who is a phenomenal jammer in any league. But we've got Andy, number 22, ramming into Joseph Stout, Trace Maxwell in there as well, but both he and Andy going out of bounds, having to recycle. That's Keith Rucker is lead jammer, now on his first scoring pass for Denton. Squeezes right by number 12, Velociraptor. Gets out of the pack, and that's interesting.
Andy, the rookie.
Interesting, because it looked like Andy was calling off the jam, but I was watching, and it looked like Keith Rucker, his jam ref, was pointing at him, indicating he was lead jammer. But I may have gotten my signals crossed on that one.
They were pretty close in there, Bulldog.
So anyway, apparently Andy calling off the jam for Mass Maelstrom. He may have. It may have been when both jam refs. I may have gotten the jam refs.
Yeah, Andy also a rookie, impressive out here for his first time.
Yeah, I hope I didn't confuse anybody. But right now we've got number 86, Tim Kugler. Tim Kugler jamming for the Denton County Outlaws, running into a 3-wall, getting a little help from his teammate Charles McLean, but now squeezes between Cormier and Colleran, only to fall down in front of them and gets absorbed back into the pack. There goes number 1337 of Mass Maelstrom, stealing away lead jammer. Tim Kugler knocked out of bounds once again, this time by Hasselman, number 7 of Mass Maelstrom, and he's getting lapped by the Mass Maelstrom jammer, Gaudet, who gets a grand slam.
Yeah, first points of the day for Mass Maelstrom, getting in there and putting it on the board. You've got to strike sometime, and you knew this team would. Very resilient. Gaudet
coming in for a second scoring pass. Tim Kugler fending off number 4, Cormier, with the last line of defense for Mass Maelstrom, but only gets out of the pack. 3 more points put on the board by Gaudet. That brings Mass Maelstrom to 8 points, and they have cut this lead by 2/3. Yeah, I do math.
Yeah.
8-12 now.
So Mass Maelstrom would like to give a shout out to some of their sister leagues at home, and their friends and coaches on the Boston Derby Dames and Providence Roller Derby. So I asked the guys, any shout outs? That was the first thing all of them said. Love for the home leagues.
Absolutely. We've got an official timeout right now.
Well, that's a good opportunity to let you know about Fast Girl Skates. Don't forget about our customer appreciation sale going on all month. Save up to $200 off your order and get updated to express shipping for free on all international orders. Check the event page for details and codes, and spread the word. Support Derby-owned small businesses. We're all in this together, and that's true. You got to support the people and take care of the people that take care of us. Fast Girl Skates we've been there from the beginning.
And new jammer for Mass Maelstrom. Mars Travolta, number 615, falls over Joseph Stout, but it looks like it was no impact, no penalty, or no fault anyway. And there's a cutting the track on the Mass Maelstrom jammer. Mars Travolta into the penalty box, and that leaves Johnny West on the power jam. Just completed his first scoring pass, gets a grand slam.
Wow, comes around untouched on that one. Now only one blocker on the track, and that's Coulter, but making an attempt. West with a little apex jump.
That's right. There were three blockers in the penalty box, but two of them were standing for Mass Maelstrom. So briefly, Coulter, the only blocker on the track, but now rejoined by Hasselman and Cormier. But they were unable to make contact with Johnny West. Johnny West only getting 4, though, on that one. Trying to dig in and shoulders that. No call on that, but good sportsmanship by Johnny West, looking concerned. He came in, ducked low, but actually got a
Coulter.
There may be a review on that, and there may be now there's a timeout called by Mass Maelstrom. Now, what happened there? Johnny West got very low. However, he was targeting. His head went between the two skaters, and his shoulders hit the upper thigh, which is a legal target zone because both of the Mass Maelstrom skaters were inverted. They were facing him, and therefore both of them were showing full legal target zones. However, there were indications by Coulter that his shoulder may have strayed a little bit outside of the lines. And anyway, that it's difficult to say, but it wasn't a high block. Because I don't think they're going to call a high block at all, even though that may be what Mass Maelstrom is asking for, because Johnny West's head went between the two skaters. He did not initiate contact with his head. If anything, it was when they squeezed, they might have put pressure on his head. But I think that would be falling to no impact, no penalty.
Right. It's a legal target zone if you're facing backwards, isn't it?
Absolutely, yes. Well, your entire front from the mid thigh all the way up to the shoulders is a legal target zone in the front of your body, and down, and of course your entire arm is a legal target zone.
So if you're going to turn around blocking, you've got to watch your jump.
Right. It's much more restrictive about your legal contact zones. That is the areas that you can initiate contact with your own body onto another skater, as opposed to target zone, which is a part you can aim for, as the name might imply. But anyway, don't see any. There was no penalty, certainly not on Johnny West. So they think they just wanted to maybe address some concerns, but did not use their official review that I know of.
Yeah. And
so
TJ Bingley came in there, got lead jammer, went in and picked up a couple points on that last one.
Right. But I think, but it looks like Coulter is fully recovered from that. He maybe just had a little scare, a near miss, we're going to call it. But that was a 4-2 jam. Now Outlaws at 34, Mass Maelstrom up to 10.
Now laughing in the pack with the guys, always a good sport. Coulter, he's nothing if not an athlete of brass.
Number X66, Keith Rucker jamming for Denton County Outlaws around the outside. Hasselman tried to catch him in turn 2, but Keith Rucker too fast gets lead jammer. Number 22, Andy, now ramming past Charles McLean, runs into Philip Stout, who catches him coming out of turn 2. Philip Stout and Brandon Vanderstilt putting up a fight, but they run out of room, and Andy battles his way through. But he's still half a lap behind the Denton County jammer, and that's going to be Keith Rucker calling off the jam. Just sees Andy in time. No points for Mass Maelstrom, but only 3 for Denton County.
Yeah, Andy diving in there with the enthusiasm of a rookie. Impressive. This guy, plan to see a lot more of him. And that was something I was talking to the Mass Maelstrom before the day started. And the guys were saying that, one of the stories for us is that we've got guys that are going to be incredible. They're young. We've got a lot of young talent. We don't want to say we're rebuilding right now, but we are.
Okay, there's a lot of things I don't want to say, but I will anyway. Here we go, Johnny West forging ahead, just breezes past the Mass Maelstrom defense, but there goes Godet, the Mass Maelstrom jammer, number 1337. He's about a quarter lap behind Johnny West as Johnny West hits the pack on his first scoring pass. He's gonna do a hit it and quit it. just passes the rear guard, picks up 2 points, calls it off, and gives no joy to Mass Maelstrom. They stay at 10, Outlaws at 39.
Oh, let's tell you about the folks at Roller Derby Elite. Roller Derby Elite signifies our highest level of skates and competition, engineered and designed for advanced skaters demanding the maximum level of performance. Roller Derby Elite. And I got to tell you, they're great folks, too. Customer service is top-notch. Bought a pair myself.
Next up, we've got TJ Binkley, number 4 for Denton County in the white jersey against number 8 Byron in the blue jersey for Mass Maelstrom, who gets caught going into turn 2, and TJ Binkley just flashes by him. Byron getting by the last line of defense. That's number 88, Philip Stout of Denton County. Now coming up on the pack. TJ Binkley hit the pack early on, but ran into Mass Maelstrom defense. Couldn't get very far. Only 2 points on that one.
Yeah, TJ Binkley, one of those skaters we've been watching for years, a former member of the Dallas Deception. Incredible skater. Awesome to see this collection of some all-stars coming together here for Denton County.
Yeah, that was TJ Binkley and Luke Powell, both members of the Denton County Outlaws, skated for Team USA at the Men's World Cup in Birmingham, UK earlier this year.
Yeah, Luke Powell, also coach of the Kansas City Roller Warriors, so shout out to our hometown, my hometown.
Now we've got Keith Rucker, number X66, jamming for the Outlaws, getting repelled, getting recycled. It bounces off a hip check from No Big Deal. Oh, slips right by Mars Travolta, gets lead jammer. Number 5150 of Mass Maelstrom, Coulter, going to the penalty box. That drops them down to 3 blockers. There goes Cormier, the jammer for Mass Maelstrom, completing his initial pass. But Keith Rucker already there and just sees out of the corner of his eye a flash of blue. Just instinctively knows that's Cormier. Calls off the jam just in time.
Well, we've had a really clean game out here for the Outlaws. This far in the game, 16 minutes remaining in the first half of play, and they have 2 penalties. So I'd say that's quite exceptional, and we've got 7 over on the Mass side, which is not a whole lot. So clean game. The Outlaws playing super clean.
That was 2 points for the Outlaws in that one. Now Johnny West back on the line, but number 2, Ryan Conlon, gets a penalty, a back block. It looked to me like he just got through, but he must have made contact right off the whistle, because other than that, there was a wide open inside lane, and he was off to the races. Yeah, however, now it is a power jam for Johnny West.
Not very happy with that call, but West taking advantage here with a shortened pack.
Pack waiting for Johnny West in turn 2, and he did. He touched. I saw that, and the referee saw it too. That he just barely grazed with his 2 front wheels. 1 tap, and you're out, man. That's one strike, and you're out on that, cutting the track. But he's in the penalty box, and so it switches from power jam for Denton County to power jam for Mass Maelstrom. However, Ryan Conlon still on his initial pass. Johnny West was on a scoring pass, so may have up to 5 points in his pocket right now, sitting in the penalty box. Mystery points, as sometimes called. But Ryan Conlon now looking to match those potential 5 points. A big fight from Tim Kugler at the front, last line of defense for Denton, but he gets the grand slam. That's Ryan Conlon on his second scoring pass, gets past Philip Stout, who just did a dance around him, but made very little contact. But here he is, Ryan Conlon at the front of the pack. But Johnny West, the Denton County jammer, out of the pack, and now just rams that shoulder into Pickering as he drives by. Gets all 5 points as he completes his first scoring pass. Now on his second scoring pass, but Ryan Conlon, the jammer for Mass Maelstrom, gets out and matches those 5 points. It will be a full 2-minute jam. No jammer is lead jammer. That was Johnny West, but he lost it when he got that cutting the track. Now he's got his second scoring pass, 4 points, so 9-5 so far. Time runs out, but Johnny West, doesn't get any points. Oh, and only 1 point. It could have been a tie jam, but the Denton County defense too strong, and Ryan Conlon only getting 1. So a 9-6 jam in favor of Outlaws.
Fantastic, and you might have noticed out there on that jam was Cesar Loza. And, so new to the team, doesn't even have a team jersey. He's wearing a T-shirt out there with a number on it. And very interesting. This is his first sanctioned bout ever. So has played in 3 bouts total, first sanctioned bout, and the guy from Guadalajara, Mexico, doing pretty good.
Yeah, I think that's he's doing a Bauhaus movement jersey, very minimalist and functional.
Yeah. Only been skating in roller derby on quads for 6 months. Previous to that, only on ice skates.
Yeah, but the main rule being that he has to be clearly identified as a member of the team, and that white shirt clearly identifies him, as well as he must have the numbers of a certain size, like was it 4 inches or 4 inches minimum? Yeah. So he's legit. He's been cleared by our officiating staff.
So the Outlaws really making some noise here at 59 points. Maelstrom at 24. So not quite what we expected, Derby fans, but Maelstrom, having taken a big loss earlier today, might have taken some of the wind out of him. Bulldog.
Got number 8 Byron jamming for Maelstrom, but getting slipping by DJ Isaac and Joseph Stout, but then gets caught up front. Oh, but knocks. He's going to knock down. There's too many people. The pit crew is in the way, so I can't identify. That was Joseph Stout that made the last contact. But Byron getting all the way back around again.
Wow.
But no points for Maelstrom. So great effort by Byron.
And Coulter.
All for naught, and it's 2 points for Keith Rucker of Denton County.
Coulter there at the end of the jam just put a smashing block on the jammer. Hey, remember me when you come back out. Here you go. Take a trip to the floor, buddy. But to his credit, he jumped up, patted him on the shoulder. Good hit, Coulter.
Good sportsmanship out here. Tim Kugler, number 86, jamming for Denton County. He's going up against number 22, Andy, for Maelstrom. Andy up against all 4 blockers, but Joel Herrera knocked out of the way by Gaudette. Andy's almost slipping by, but Joel Herrera gets his revenge, knocking out Andy, forcing him to recycle. Tim Kugler, the jammer for Denton County, coming through for a grand slam. I do not see him indicated as lead jammer, so Andy of Maelstrom may still be able to get lead. However, a forearm penalty on Tim Kugler sends him to the penalty box during his second scoring pass. So he's already got 5+ mystery points. But Andy, the jammer from Maelstrom, still unable to get past Joel Herrera. Joel Herrera, his nemesis in this jam. Joel Herrera backed up by Brandon Vanderstelt, who just barely catches Andy. Andy saw daylight, saw a wide open track, but Brandon Vanderstelt able to stop him. And once again, Joel Herrera back in his customary position for this jam, which is right in front of wherever Andy is. So just preventing him from making any progress.
So an excellent penalty kill here for Denton County, and pretty amazing that they've been able to hold Mass so well on defense.
But Coulter receiving the star pass. That's the pivot, now the scorer for Maelstrom. And there goes Tim Kugler back to the penalty box, cutting the track this time. So 2 penalties on the Denton County jammer in the same jam, so 2 power jams. However, Denton County was able to completely shut down the first power jam, but Coulter not going to let that happen twice. He gets the grand slam on his first scoring pass, and now on his second scoring pass gets another one. So potentially in the lead in this jam right now, not on the scoreboard, but in this jam. 10 points and only 4 points for Tim Kugler. That means it's a 10-9 jam. Maelstrom pulling it out and winning the jam, but great work by the Outlaws on a double penalty kill.
Yeah, just awesome. And Coulter in the game against New York had a star pass to him, and he scored 15 points. And we called him the Coulter train. He came through just taking out blockers left and right. Get out of my way. That was awesome. So cool to see him with the star on, and pretty much an unstoppable force.
He's a pretty imposing figure on the track. Easily the largest skater skating right now, and very agile for a man his size. Legal procedure, actually just very agile for a man of any size, I think. But Tim Kugler getting his 3rd jammer penalty in a row. So
wow. Tim
Kugler just absolutely getting ripped apart by the referees. there's no big deal. Already lead jammer for Mass Maelstrom. We're approaching the pack on his first scoring pass, going cautiously right now. Now dives in, sidesteps Luke Powell, but only to get caught on the outside. We've got Philip Stout on point for Denton County. TJ Binkley, though, was able to hip check No Big Deal out of the way. No Big Deal reaching for his jammer cap. Looked like he might have been just tossing around the idea of a star pass, but it opts to call off the jam instead. Freezes Tim Kugler in the box.
So Mass getting some much-needed points there, maybe a little momentum swinging the other way. Mass is one of those teams that does very well when they get together and plan. So we saw a timeout during the New York game earlier where they went over and took a timeout and then came out and played a much better, cleaner game for a while. So maybe they're starting to draw it together after that big loss earlier to New York.
Yeah, and right now, I mean, we're only 12 minutes into the game. Or sorry, 22 minutes in. We're only 22 minutes in the game, so plenty of time left. But right now, Denton Outlaws coming out fighting and looking like they were wanting to pull off the upset.
Yeah, really awesome. So all of you in Denton County, Texas, be proud of this team. They've come out here to fight first time at the championships. Really representing well all year and snagging that 8th seed. Very, very much, we're pretty set on the top teams in men's roller derby, but the, 6 through 8 are kind of open, and it was awesome to see them come in here and take that.
Yeah, if Denton wins this game, they go straight into the 5th place bout and will finish at least 6th, even if they lose the game afterwards. Whereas Mass Maelstrom, if they win, they could advance their position 1 place or defend their current seeding. All right, we've got Denton County timeout going on right now. Mass Maelstrom's already used 1 timeout, so when the game starts again, each team will have 2 timeouts remaining. But number 8, Byron, jamming for Mass Maelstrom, starts off on the power jam, but Tim Kugler was standing at the first whistle, and he goes straight for the star pass, but he's not going to get very far. He does manage to do the star pass. Number 24, Trace Maxwell, has received the star and is officially the scorer for Denton County, but he's still on his initial pass. Byron on a scoring pass now. Driving his way forward up to the front. Tim Kugler, erstwhile jammer, now a blocker, teaming up with number 430, DJ Isaac, but unable to stop Byron. He gets the grand slam.
We'll say Coulter to the box again. That'll be his 3rd.
Trace Maxwell, the jammer, the scorer for Denton County to the outside. Pickering picks him up on turn 3, but a quick move, little burst of speed, gets him past Pickering, and he completes his initial pass. But Byron, ducking under his shoulder from Charles McLean, completes his 2nd scoring pass and gets another grand slam. That's 10 points for Mass Maelstrom, bringing them to only 17 points behind the Outlaws.
Well, as the skaters gather over here on the Nerd Skates Jammer line, we'll let you know about Green Monster Roller Sports. For the last year, we've dedicated our time into creating something special that will change the wheel game as you know it. Make sure you are receiving notifications from us, as well as following us on Instagram at Green Monster Roller Sports for more information. Bulldog.
Ryan Conlon, number 2, jamming for Mass Maelstrom, but Johnny West, number 8, back on the jammer line for Denton County, gets lead jammer. But Ryan Conlon, only quarter lap behind, has completed his initial pass. Both jammers moving in for a scoring pass, but Johnny West gets there first with plenty of time, just gets halfway through the pack, calls it off for 2.
So Mass has been down in this one, but coming back right now, 72 for the Outlaws, 53 for Mass Maelstrom, crawling back in 1 jam at a time.
Gaudette, number 1337, jamming for Mass Maelstrom against number X66, Keith Rucker. Gaudette is escorted around by Charles McLean, trying to stop him, but Gaudette, the quick sidestep, and they run out of room. He gets the free pass now on his first scoring pass, in position to potentially lap Keith Rucker. But he gets recycled and now is getting through the pack. Potentially 5 points, but gets sideswiped by Tim Kugler and knocked out of bounds. He has to recycle just a little bit. Going to take another run at it. This time runs into Tim Kugler again. And now completely stopped in his tracks by TJ Binkley. And calls off the jam. He's only going to get 2 points for Mass Maelstrom, but no points for Denton County.
So with 4.5 minutes remaining in the first half, we've got a close one here. Denton County Outlaws 72, Mass Maelstrom Roller Derby 55. And the battle rages on. We'll see Andy, the rookie for Mass, step up to the line. They're having to dig deep into their roster this weekend, facing West.
4-on-3 pack advantage for Denton County. Cormier, number 4, in the penalty box for Mass Maelstrom. Johnny West gets a last-minute parting shot from Mars Travolta as he completes his initial pass for lead jammer. Coulter, taking the star for Mass Maelstrom, gets recycled just a little bit. Still on his initial passing, now getting lapped by Johnny West. Johnny West in a duel with Andy, number 22, at the front of the pack, but fights his way free, gets a grand slam for Denton County. Coulter completing his initial pass, not going to give up a second jammer point to Johnny West. But Johnny West almost knocked out of bounds by Mars Travolta, but some fancy footwork keeps him out inbounds, and he completes the pass. He's going to get 4 more, a 9-point jam for Denton County. And with only 3 minutes remaining, Denton County with a respectable lead over Mass Maelstrom in good position to pull off this upset.
Yeah, definitely an upset. I was talking to Luke Powell last week in anticipation of this and talking about his team, and he said, you know, we're probably not going to beat your mom in the initial round, but we're going to bring some things in that they haven't seen before, and we're seeing it right here against this team. He said they have some surprises for us.
All right, well, Byron taking the jammer star once again for Mass Maelstrom and takes away lead jammer. TJ Binkley with a nice move, just absorbs a shoulder from Hasselman and gets by, but a full 3/4 of a lap behind Byron. So Byron has plenty of time to play around, but only gets a partial 3 points for Mass Maelstrom.
You know, Bulldog, I always wonder what kind of effect it has, what order you play during the day. Denton County Outlaws played the first game of the day, so a little bit more well-rested. 2 games ago, Mass Maelstrom was out here playing New York. So, you know, in a very tough battle against a rival. So, wondering what kind of fatigue is coming into play out here.
Well, that is a good point. Both of the teams have already played one game today. Mass Maelstrom just had about 2 hours rest in between their first game and this game, whereas Denton County has had about 6 would you say 6 hours? Is that about right?
Yeah, it makes a difference.
Yeah, they played the first game, and Mass Maelstrom's first game was the 3rd game of the day.
Oh, Mars Travolta.
Mars Travolta getting taken out by Brandon Vanderstilt. Calls off a jam from out of bounds on his knees and is going to settle for a single point.
Yeah, it was a tough one to get too. You know, take a hard shot to the ground. You get that lead jammer, you want to score more than 1 point, especially when you're down to this tough squad from Denton County.
Now it takes 14 players to make a team, but Jurassic Park, one of the top jammers probably the top jammer for Mass Maelstrom, so they are probably sorely missing that skater right there. The score might be a little bit different if they had their top jammer, but Mass Maelstrom's got a very strong team, and they have the potential to pull this game back into their territory. There it is, Gaudette with lead jammer, slips by Charles McCain and number 562 Colleran colliding. I don't think there was a penalty. I think that was just a collision. They're ruling on the track, but 3 and I would be hard pressed to say who was at fault if they did choose to. So I think that was just an incidental collision. 3 points for Mass Maelstrom.
It is roller derby, isn't it? So Mass continuing to chip away. A couple lead jam calls here, but only picking up 4 in the last 2 jams.
We got number 4 TJ Binkley against number 4 Cormier for Mass Maelstrom. Mass Maelstrom in the blue, Denton County in the white. TJ Binkley, the Denton County jammer up front. Pickering trying to hold him back, coming out. Coulter trying to get in his way, but TJ Binkley too fast for him. Gets out for lead jammer. Cormier at the rear of the pack. The Mass Maelstrom jammer still on his initial pass, but rolls around right by his teammates. Coulter, the brick wall in the middle of the pack, and then the brick wall just comes crashing down on TJ Binkley, and he gets a forearm penalty, but TJ Binkley does call it off 4-0 for Denton County.
Wow, and looks like they're sending somebody off, maybe Coulter, for a penalty there. We've got halftime situation. Somebody said don't say that word this weekend, so I threw it in on purpose.
Situation,
yeah.
Are you going to show us your
I'll
abs
say
right
whatever I want. So here we are, 85 for Denton County Outlaws, 62 for the Mass Maelstrom. Denton County, I think, surprising a lot of folks here with their tenacity.
Yeah, Denton County looking hungry out there. I think they want to vie for 5th place. They would love to come in here and advance their position over their seeding. But
trying to make their mark here.
I don't think
MRDA
Mass Maelstrom is going to lie down and take it. They are going to come. I have a feeling they have experience. They've been around. They're more seasoned veterans than Denton County. They've been around longer than Denton County. They're going to come back in the second half, and I have a feeling they're going to come out swinging from the beginning.
I'm with you. I think they're going to come out strong. You know, they've got a lot of injured guys off the roster and on the roster even. So, but these guys have a lot of playoff experience and a lot of tournament experience. They're going to be here for the second half. So stay tuned.
Absolutely.
We are Deb Null,
And Roxy Settley of Nerd Roller Skates.
Calgary, Alberta's full-service skate shop.
We are roller derby players and roller skate nerds.
And we are here for the people who roll.
Denton County had a string of 8 jams where they got lead jam call, and that really has been a big difference in this game. The score's still close, 85-62 in favor of Denton County. Mass, they had an opportunity where the jammer went 3 times to the box for Denton County, and that's how they jumped back in there. So.
Yeah, Tim Kugler, number 86, getting 3 penalties in a row. 2 in one jam, and then immediately getting another one in the jam following, after being forced after serving the intermission in the penalty box. So that was a big opportunity for Mass Maelstrom, but they were unable to really convert. Still 23 points separating the 2 teams. That's actually larger than what we saw at the beginning when we were gasping at that really fast drive that Denton had coming out of the gate. So they've actually expanded that lead since then.
Yeah, and Mass, as we talked about, they went back and come out with a game plan. I expect them to have tighter walls. They are a team that usually plays very, very well in the tornado blocking schemes and those sorts of things. So I expect them to pull together and have a plan to come out here and make it competitive with Denton County. Denton County, again, making their mark.
Yeah, I think Denton County. I'm expecting an onslaught from Mass Maelstrom. They're going to come out charging. They probably just want to get the psychological victory. But there are a few veterans on Denton County. They're probably going to be preparing their team. Luke Powell and T.J. Binkley, not least among them, probably going to be talking to their team and making sure that they're ready for Mass Maelstrom. Because they're going to want to hang on to this lead. I think the first few jams are going to be a psychological victory for whoever comes out swinging.
Yes, and Mass coming into this one, the favorite. There was a flat track stack said they had a 62% probability of winning this game. So, interesting there. Let's look at the penalties. We've got Kugler with 4 penalties. Of course, those 3 were so detrimental to him on that side. No one else with more than 1 on their side, so playing a very clean game. On the other side, Mass has Coulter with 4, a couple of 3 others with 2. Pretty clean game we're seeing here.
That's right. Only 2 skaters that are on track for a foul out, and they've still got a good buffer in between them and that long lonely trip to the locker room. But we've got T.J. Binkley lined up for Denton County Outlaws in the white jersey and facing off against, it looks like, Godet, number 1337 in the blue jersey for Mass Maelstrom starting out the second half.
We'll start off with Coulter in the box for Mass, as expected. We've got the Nerd Skates Jammer line.
Proud to have them as a sponsor, but right now we've got the what you probably were logging in for. We've got the game that's going on the picture. Number X66, Keith Rucker, jamming for Denton County against number 2, Ryan Conlon for Mass Maelstrom.
Wow, and Rutger just exploding through. I haven't seen this guy out there jamming, but he had some moves on that one.
Low block called on Ryan Conlon, the Mass Maelstrom jammer. That gives up a power jam to Denton County. We've got number 32, Pickering, following his jammer into the penalty box. So now only 3 blockers for Keith Rucker to get by. That was Byron coming across with a hip check, but Keith Rucker just able to slip by it, gets the grand slam. Now on his second scoring pass, and a juke to the outside, gets him by Colleran, a second grand slam for Denton County.
Yeah, Rutger with great lateral movement, head fake, breaking open into free space.
He's going to go for a third scoring pass. This time caught by Colleran briefly, but just manages to wedge his way by that hip check. Gets another grand slam. It's 15 points for Denton County. So talking about psychological victories,
yeah.
Denton County Outlaws up into triple digits with that one. And Rucker's going to come around again, make it a 20-point jam for Denton County. Ryan Conlon just getting out of the penalty box before the last whistle. So they're going to be able to field a fresh jammer, but a 20-0 jam in jam number 2 of period 2.
Yeah, Denton County coming out and shocking the scoreboard here in the second half. That is really what they wanted to do. Up 108-62 over Mass Maelstrom. We'll see the lead scorer of this game so far, Johnny West, take the star for the Outlaws.
Number 615, Mars Travolta, driving his way up the center and gets out for lead jammer for Mass Maelstrom. Johnny West repelled going into turn 1 by Hasselman. Recycles quickly and moves up the outside lane, completes the pass just ahead of Mars Travolta. Not going to give up the jammer point, but Mars Travolta straight up the center, just outraces Tim Kugler and gets through, calls off the jam for 4.
Yeah, Mass has been able to pick up, a good number of lead jam calls. They're just not haven't been able to take advantage of them to the effect that Denton County has with the multi-scoring passes.
Yeah, Denton County coming on strong. In fact, in these first two or three jams, I think they've outscored their start in the first half. So actually coming on even stronger. TJ Binkley, number 4, jamming for Denton County at the back of the pack, but no big deal. And Collar and holding him for a while, but TJ Binkley slips up the outside, runs into Pickering, who cuts him off. But now TJ Binkley slammed to the deck, scrambles back up, and just blurs right through the pack, but just barely ahead of Byron, number 8, the Mass Maelstrom jammer. But now with a comfortable lead, DJ Binkley's going to play a little bit of jammer defense, just peels some time off the clock before calling it off, a no-score jam.
And Binkley, one of these guys that creates his own blocks, comes in, is not afraid of the blockers, puts his shoulder down, gets in there, and forces his way through. We've seen it time and time again. And superstar of roller derby, TJ Binkley.
And who do we have jamming out there? Raucous Ron.
Out on the line right now, we've got Keith Rucker for Denton County and Gaudette for Mass Maelstrom.
Keith Rucker knocked out of bounds by Hasselman, recycles back almost to the jammer line. Now on his way, just trying to get up the outside, cut off. Moves to the inside, tries to follow Gaudette out of the pack, and does so, slipping up the inside lane, but Gaudette out first for lead.
Again, Mass, getting those lead jam calls, unable to take advantage of them because time and time again, Denton County also getting out of the pack and stopping that bleeding early.
Yeah, keeping the pressure on, not giving Mass Maelstrom any room to breathe on that jammer line.
We'd like to give thanks to Blood and Thunder hosting the Blood and Thunder World Cup action. You'll be there announcing, right, Bulldog?
I will be there, yes. I'm looking forward to it. Are you going to be there?
Yes, I will be
All
there.
All right. I'll take that as good news. We got Mars Travolta, number 615, jamming for Mass Maelstrom. He just rides Joseph Stout around the outside and kicks off. He is lead jammer. Half a lap ahead of Johnny West, who also breaks the pack. But Mars Travolta doing a little clinic out there, just slaloms his way right by Duck, gets really low. You saw how low that went, calls off the jam. But just a fraction of a second too late, gives up 1 point to Denton County, 4-1 Mass Maelstrom.
You hear it all the time if you listen to roller derby and coaching and the practices. Coach says, get low, get low, get lower. And right there's a great example why you can drop your hips down underneath the block and get through untouched like that. That was good stuff.
That's right. It's hard to hit the target zone when the target zone is only a 1 inch band. And you've also got to get down, crouch down, practically touch the floor just to reach it. So we've got Andy, number 22, jamming for Mass Maelstrom, knocked out of bounds by Nick Putcher, number 505 of the Denton County Outlaws. Denton County jammer TJ Binkley looking for the outside lane, cut off by Gaudette. Fights his way past, hitches a ride with Dennis.
Wow. Slamming, pounding in the pack. Yeah. These teams came here to battle. It is a war on the floor. Going to be some bruises tonight, some ice baths for both of these teams.
Yeah, it was Dennis Hampton, the skater I was trying to say before. But just a quick hit it and quit it in that jam.
Yeah, Mass is not going to be happy to come out of this one with a loss, and you can see them out there fighting with all they've got. This is a proud, storied team, and they don't want to be upset by the newbies, by the upstarts.
But Denton County making it difficult. 39-point lead. They've already stretched out their lead from the half. And now we've got Keith Rucker with lead jammer. Number 2, Ryan Conlon, jammer for Mass Maelstrom, but half a lap behind the Denton County jammer. Already on his first scoring pass. Slips by Hasselman, but collides right into Collar. Takes out his own teammate as well, Charles McLean. A pile in turn 3, and 3 points for Denton County. He does call it off in time.
And good sportsmanship as Colleran helps Keith Rutger up from the ground there. I got a shout out to give here. This is from Mycopathic Chiller, who's over on the bench for Maelstrom. He wants to give a shout out to Senora Slaughter and also to the Switchblade Sallies, who are going to play for their home team championship.
Number 8, Johnny West jamming for Denton County Outlaws against number 8, Byron. So 8 on 8 this time. Johnny West shoved aside by Pickering and opens the door for Byron of Maelstrom to steal away with lead jammer. But he's just one stride now. Johnny West breathing down his neck. Little defensive jamming from Byron as he enters the pack. Johnny West gets picked up by Coulter and Pickering, holding him at the rear of the pack. But he does.
Yes, yeah.
He gets 1 point on the track, and Maelstrom with 2 ghost points. So it's a 3-point jam for Denton County, even though he only got 1 point on the track. Those ghost points allowed him to tie up the score, so a 3-3 jam.
Yeah, and I like the way when he was coming in, he fed the other jammer to his blocker, said, hey, come over here and meet Coulter on the back end. But
let me introduce you to. And why don't you guys
friend.
dance a bit?
All right. So back to the action.
We got Mars Travolta, number 615, jamming in a battle against Joel Herrera, but Tim Kugler coming across with a hip check and escorts.
TJ Binkley.
Mars Travolta in a battle with Tim Kugler at the front. Now bounces off of Charles McLean. Joel Herrera trying to reel him back in, but Mars Travolta completing his initial pass. But we've got TJ Binkley getting through. He's got 4 points. Mars Travolta just got out of his initial pass to avoid giving up his jammer point. But TJ Binkley now just drawing time off the clock. Waits till the last second, calls off the jam, but actually unclear. Gaudette fell down.
Yeah,
however,
just kind of fell funny. He wasn't really hit. He fell backwards.
It was unclear whether the jam was called off because TJ Binkley was signaling the call off, but Gaudette fell down. Now, however, Gaudette was behind the pack, so it's a judgment call by the referees, but it looked like he was out of danger, not a danger to himself or anyone else in that position. So
yeah, I think Binkley just called it off.
And the key there being that Maelstrom really cannot afford to have a skater, one of their top big blockers, and in the jammer rotation, they can't afford to have him sitting out 3 jams if they can help it. But right now, Keith Rucker, X66, jamming. He's got lead jammer. Andy, number 22, the jammer for Maelstrom, following him out.
Yeah, Andy, the wily rookie, just fighting his way through there. Again, this guy's going to be good as time goes on, but this is his first sanctioned action right here.
A 1-to-1 jam. So that was a rare late call-off by Denton County. They've been really executing lead jammer very well the entire game. But just a fraction of a second late, and they allowed it to get tied. But I don't think the Outlaws are sweating too much. They still got a 46-point lead. They're continuing to stretch that out.
Yeah, and they're looking really good here. I'm not seeing any weakness that Mass could exploit at this point. West powering his way to the front of the pack, looking for lead jammer. He's going to get it.
That's Johnny West battling his way past the last line of defense. It was Mars Travolta. Gets lead jammer, and number 8 Byron. That was
McLean
I don't know if that was on the screen, but Charles McLean rammed a shoulder into Hasselman. Hasselman looked dazed, but also in good humor though.
Yeah.
I think he appreciates that was a really great hit by Charles McLean, and clean too.
McLean, big powerhouse blocker. It's awesome to see those blocks that put people on their booty instantly. We'll see R. Conlon, the captain for Mass, TJ Binkley for Denton.
It's 5-on-5 out there on the track, empty penalty box. Ryan Conlon up at the front, trying to get around Joseph Stout. Gets around only to get picked up by Joel Herrera out of nowhere. However, they stretch it out too far. They get to the end of the engagement zone. Free pass for Ryan Conlon. He's lead jammer. Now on a scoring pass, TJ Binkley, the jammer for Denton County, has completed his initial pass, but only gets about 3/4 of the way around before Ryan Conlon calls it off for 4 points for Mass Maelstrom.
R. Conlon, an excellent choice for captain for Mass. This guy's always fighting hard, always playing smart. So all due respect to R. Conlon.
We've got X66 Keith Rucker jamming against Gaudette, number 1337, the tall jammer for Mass Maelstrom. Gaudette driving up the center, but Charles McLean comes across with that shoulder. He's gonna, you know how they have names for swords and big war hammers. He's gonna have to start naming his shoulders in a minute. Mjolnir, or however you pronounce that. We've got Keith Rucker completing his initial pass, but Gaudette, lead jammer, on his first scoring pass, getting a little help from Hasselman, just avoids a shoulder from Tim Kugler, but gets caught by Joseph Stout.
I've noticed several times this weekend bench coaches trying to call it off or get the jammer to call it off, and they don't quite have the windpipes to do it. It's always nice when you've got somebody over there that can be heard across the floor.
Yeah, and I think I said Joseph Stout. I believe that was actually Trace Maxwell who held on to to Gaudette to keep him from getting out of the pack.
We'll see Johnny West taking on.
It's a Mars Travolta, number 615. Mars Travolta up to the front, and nice work by Coulter, screening him off from Joel Herrera and Cesar Loza Reynoso, number 11, the Bauhaus skater out there in the plain white shirt.
And Coulter with the two big recycle moves in a row on, and now Coulter forcing the cut track on West. He'll go to the penalty box. This is exactly what the Mass Maelstrom needs right now.
There we go, Mars Travolta getting away from Luke Powell, completing a grand slam. Now on a power jam, Johnny West taking his seat in the penalty box, joined by Joseph Stout, a power blocker for the Denton County Outlaws. And another grand slam. This is shaping. They are cutting this lead in half already. Now on another scoring pass. Great work by Hasselman, cutting off Cesar Loza Reynoso, the number 11, to allow his jammer through. Mars Travolta with another grand slam, and they've hit triple digits. Only 24. They've cut the lead in half. Mass Maelstrom is not stopping either. Mars Travolta gets in on another scoring pass. Luke Powell knocks him out of bounds. He calls off the jam as Johnny West rejoins the game, so they won't freeze the jammer, but a huge jam for Mass Maelstrom cuts the lead to only 20 points.
And that's what they've needed. They've been able to chip away back and forth, but when you're down like that, you need a big jam, a momentum switch, and they seem to get stronger in there. They were really excited. The blockers were coming in, offensive blocking. The timing was excellent. So again, Mass still in this one.
And Mars Travolta not even a regular in the jammer rotation in the first half, and they had that triple power jam that they could not get anything done in, and then he comes in and just takes off. Mass Maelstrom right back in this game.
So we've got a back block on TJ Binkley. He will head to the penalty box. And now Byron on the scoring attack again for Mass. Again, exactly what Mass needs.
This could be the experience showing through. Mass Maelstrom, old dogs, where against Denton County's new tricks. We've got Byron squeezing past Trace Maxwell. Trace Maxwell looking for a cutting, and he gets it. Byron heading through the penalty box, so that ends the power jam. And I think Denton County probably breathing a little bit of a sigh of relief.
Yeah, that was right in front of us here. I didn't see the step out. I'm sure the ref did. Okay, other people nodding their heads. But very, very close on that one. So might not have realized he stepped over the line.
Yeah, well, Denton County does not want to see Mass Maelstrom start getting some momentum, especially at this late phase in the game. Only 20 points. One power jam, one good jam away from taking the lead back. But TJ Binkley making short work of his initial pass. Now coming in to try and match Byron's points. Byron sitting on mystery points right now. Now comes out of the penalty box. So both jammers on the track. Empty penalty box. 5-on-5 right now. But TJ Binkley completes the pass for 5. And 4 of those matched now by Byron. So 5-4 in this jam so far. Denton County holding on to a 1-point advantage, but TJ Binkley stopped in his tracks, and he's going to get 4 points. TJ Binkley looking for 4 points as well, but now potentially getting lapped, now doing some jammer defense. But TJ Binkley's but quickly reverts back to offense.
Yeah.
So there goes Byron just halfway into the pack. He's going to get 3. That one of those was probably a jammer point. And TJ Binkley only getting 3 as well. So Mass Maelstrom winning the jam.
We have a 17-point game right here, just what you wanted out there in Derbyland. We knew this was going to be a good one. We didn't know Denton County was going to come out and play quite so hard. They have been super impressive. Mass Maelstrom digging deep. They have, during the game against New York earlier, they pulled out everybody. They tried to get everybody to jam. They were looking for a solution again in this game, digging deep, trying to find that solution, finally getting Mars in there, and Mars doing some big damage for them. But, crazy matchup here.
Right now we have a team timeout called by Denton County Outlaws. That is their second timeout. Both teams still have their official review in their back pockets. But Denton County, this is probably a well-timed timeout because Mass Maelstrom looked like they were starting to get the ball rolling. And Denton County really looking like they were off balance for a good jam and a half there. So the coach is probably going to want to get them, get the heart rate down, so get your head back in the game. Start working together.
Exactly. They've been in a
what do you think they're saying?
Commanding position most of the game. They're right here. The momentum clearly having swung Mass's direction. Mounting a big comeback, so if they can pull it back together and play their game, they can still come out victorious in this one, obviously.
Yeah, that's right. So they're sweating the jammer. Although actually, that's usually in the last few jams when they. But wanting to let the adrenaline come back, go down. Mass Maelstrom's jammer Ryan Conlon just brought down. And X66 Keith Rucker gets a cutting the track, another power jam for Mass Maelstrom. So more bad news for Denton County and more good news for Mass Maelstrom. There's Ryan Conlon on his first scoring pass.
Conlon, gets knocked to the inside. We've got a penalty. We've got a injury timeout being called.
Well,
skater was down. I heard the whistle. I didn't see any call off.
We'll see. We do have an official review requested, or I see a signal. And is that Denton or Mass Maelstrom?
Well, one of the two.
It is Mass Maelstrom calling an official review. But they did pick up 4 points out of that. So the score now 132 to 119. That is a mere 13 points.
Yeah, cutting it down bit by bit. Mm-hmm. Those jammer penalties for Denton County, 3 of them in a row, having an impact on the scoreboard. Mass taking advantage with Mars and Conlon and company out there.
That's right. Denton County with nearly a 50-point lead early on in the second half, and they have brought it down to only 13 points. Mass Maelstrom making a game of it after all.
Well, let's talk about those point scorers out there. Leading scorer in the game is still Johnny West. He's got 61 on the Outlaws. The next on the list is Keith Rutger with 31, and tied with TJ Binkley, 31 as well. We'll jump over to the Mass side. We've got Mars Travolta with 33, Byron with 32, Gaudette with 18, Conlon with 17. They're having to pull a lot of jammers out of the lineup, the blockers out of the lineup for Mass. So commendable job by those guys getting in and doing some work with the Star.
Yep, Mars Travolta with 33 points for the game, but most of those points scored in that one power jam that closed the gap. That just sucked that lead right away from the Denton County Outlaws. Right now, we're still waiting to get word on what the specifics of this official review are about. But right now, the officials in a zebra huddle over there on the center right of your screen. Team captains standing over on the side. Yeah. A familiar sight, I'm sure.
And we'd like to give thanks to our sponsors, in particular Bridgespan Health. Thank you, everyone who contributes to make this happen. This is some of the greatest action on earth. Make sure to tell your friends to tune in all day tomorrow on WFTDA.tv. This is where you learn to be a better skater, watching the greatest skaters in men's roller derby, picking up those tricks and techniques. Waiting some information out here on what's going on. We'll have Bangers and Smash come in and let us know in a minute.
Yeah, okay, good. So you are watching the 2014 International Men's Roller Derby Association Championships, and we've got an official review. What are the details, Bangers?
So what happened was the Mass Maelstrom was asking for an egregious clockwise from white to 5. The call stands as a regular penalty, so they will not be ejecting white to 5 from the game.
Yeah, Charles McLean, we've seen it. He can deliver some huge, big hits out here, and that one they wanted to question.
All right, so a worthy effort, a tough blocker, as we've seen plenty in this game. And, they saw something they thought was over the top, but Charles McLean is in the penalty box. They were attempting to request an expulsion. They thought it was
egregious. Yes,
egregious. It would fit that category, although that's not a technical term. But
there's a penalty killing recycle there of Gaudette.
Yep, and Denton County retains that blocker, number 25, but he's going to be out for 30 seconds. Gaudette repelled again, recycling back past the pivot line. Take another run at it, but Denton County looking strong out there. Tim Kugler accidentally, Trace Maxwell came across, bounced off of Tim Kugler, and that opened up the door. A little bit of unfortunate confluence of events. Gaudette, for Denton County, allowed Mass Maelstrom to get out, comes in for a scoring pass, calls it off for 3.
And that'll bring it closer, a 10-point game here at the MRDA Championships. You're watching it live from Tacoma, Washington. We are having a good time, aren't we, Bulldog?
Oh, yeah. This is turning into a barn burner. Looked like it was just on its way to an easy upset by Denton County, but Mass Maelstrom right back in.
Yeah, they're digging deep.
Only 9 minutes remaining in the game. Johnny West, high scorer of the game at 61 points. He's scored more than almost twice what the high scorer for Mass Maelstrom has scored.
And single-handedly recycled by No Big Deal, which is a big deal at this point in the game.
Byron the Jammer for Mass Maelstrom in a tough battle against Joseph Stout. Gets taken down a few times. There goes Johnny West getting lead jammer for Denton County.
Yeah, persistence. Just Johnny West stays in there and pounds, takes the big hits, and stays in the middle of the track.
And there was a star pass. Byron has passed the star to number 5150, Coulter, the pivot, who is now the scorer. But he immediately picks up a blocking with the head penalty. So he goes to the penalty box. It's a power jam for Denton County.
Wow, that is rough for Mass Maelstrom. Power jam for Denton County is not what they wanted at this point in the game.
Penalty kill, and No Big Deal comes across with a hip check, rams into Johnny West, but Johnny West somehow absorbed it. You saw his entire body shake with the impact, but somehow was able to brace and stayed in bounds, calls off the jam.
And now I'm seeing No Big Deal over on the side after that hit, holding his hip like he took the worst end of it. He was the delivery and the recipient of that hit, whereas West just kept on going.
Well, then that opens up the lead to 19 points now for Denton County, 7.5 minutes remaining.
And they throw in TJ Bingley, and this guy, again, unstoppable force, very difficult to stop, the veteran. He's got more than the tip through there.
Yeah. That's a reference to something else, but TJ Binkley is his name. Now coming in on a scoring pass. His erstwhile skating name was Just the Tip.
Right.
Which he was, of
Just
course.
a little throwback moment here for the fans at home.
That's right, but we don't need to talk about that because right now he's lead jammer on a scoring pass. Nice juke past Mars Travolta. Now races past Gaudette, just a glancing blow. A shoulder check from Mars Travolta, and he tries to hold on. Mars Travolta thought he got DJ Binkley to step out of bounds, but he didn't. No, actually, he got it out of play, and that is why TJ Binkley, there was no penalty.
And Coulter finally threw the pack. He was moving kind of slow out there, looking a little bit winded. Not so sure we should put the jammer cap on this guy this late in the game. He's got all the energy in the world for the blocking, but
TJ Binkley gets another one, so now Denton County now getting back into their comfort zone, opening up to 33 points ahead of Mass Maelstrom.
6 minutes remaining. Time for Mass to step it up here and try and own the end of the game. We can't rely on jammer penalties. You know, they came back on the jammer penalties. That's been how they've hung in this game. But right now they've got to do something on their own. But Denton County, lead jammer.
Keith Rucker, the jammer for Denton County, getting past no big deal last line of defense for Mass Maelstrom. Now in position to potentially get a lap point. Ryan Conlon, team captain of Mass Maelstrom and jammer, just avoids a hip check from Joseph Stout. Gets out of the pack just about 2 strides ahead of Keith Rucker. Not going to give up that jammer point, but Keith Rucker is going to settle for 4 points, and I think he'll take it. Only 5 minutes left in the game, Ron.
Yeah, this is an exciting one. This is coming down to the wire. We've got great action coming all weekend. Tune in tomorrow at 9 a.m. Pacific time for Your Mom versus Puget. That's going to be a good one. Puget playing really, really well today. That looks to be a great matchup. And then at 11 a.m. we'll have the New York Stock Exchange versus St. Louis Gatekeepers. So tune in.
But right now, Gaudette knocked out of bounds by a brutal shoulder from Joel Herrera at the rear of the pack. The jammer for Mass Maelstrom not getting far, but there's Johnny West of Denton County Outlaws getting out for lead.
This guy making a name for himself, putting up a lot of points here at men's champs. Hitherto unknown to myself.
But he is making a splash right now. That was a little smile as he got out of the penalty, out of the pack on his first scoring pass. Does get the grand slam, and now we're seeing Denton County back in form from the rest of the game. So there was about a 15-minute period where Mass Maelstrom just seemed to have Denton County almost on the ropes, or at least shaken up. Definitely catching them on the back foot, as the saying sometimes goes. But it looks like they are back in form and opening up the lead back to where they were at halftime. And time running out for Mass Maelstrom. They had a nice burst of energy, but are they going to be able to make it into the finish? That's what counts.
Yeah, rough weekend for them with their star jammer out, Jurassic Park. So, but they have fought hard against the New York Stock Exchange. That was, a tough loss. I'm sure they suffered a lot of bruises in that one and played their hearts out. And here in Denton County, got to give it up for these guys.
But Mass Maelstrom's got Mars Travolta back on the jammer line. Now, of course, he's the one that scored that big jam that put Mass Maelstrom right back into the game. And he's almost gets through, but just steps back in, and they're going to tell him that he's going to have to make an extra lap. He backed up, and he's going to have to take that lap of shame, and that's going to add about 20 seconds to his penalty. He's going to be effectively serving nearly a minute of penalty because of that extra lap he has to take.
Very potentially the nail in the coffin right there. Too late in the game with 2.5 minutes remaining to come back from this score without something spectacular happening, and you can't do it in the box.
Mass Maelstrom was obviously hoping for a power jam, but this is not what they wanted. They're now on a penalty kill. TJ Binkley taken out by no big deal.
This guy's a big deal.
TJ almost looked like TJ Binkley got a little bit of air from that shoulder. That was That was a lot of power coming up from number 508.
Yeah, he has really done well. The heart and soul of that team over there, no big deal. Always with a big smile, always with a lot of intense play on the track. Fun to watch.
All right, clock ticking down. Well, not actually ticking at this second, but that's a team timeout called by Mass Maelstrom. Clock frozen at 2 minutes, 17 seconds. But the teams, they're not regrouping, not having a team meeting. Both teams just left their skaters on the track. I think Mass Maelstrom just wanted to stop the clock to maximize, not give up an extra 30 seconds on intermission.
Right. So they are out there, but you can see the look in their faces. It's they know it's about over. They will drop out of this tournament, and Denton County will probably, in all likelihood now, will move on for the 5th place game against the winner of our next game, which will be Portland versus
Southern Discomfort. That's right.
Yeah.
The Brits are coming. And now we've got a Keith Rucker hip checked out of bounds by Byron, number 8 of Mass Maelstrom. And that ends the power jam, but as Mars Travolta comes out of the pack, but he opts to take the long way around. Interesting. He could have just gone back about 20 feet, but maybe opted for some extra momentum. But it all comes to naught. Jam called off by the lead jammer, and the clock continues to tick down below 2 minutes.
Again, a pretty clean game. Neither side with a whole lot of penalties, except for Coulter with 5 and Kruger with 5. On the Outlaws side.
Now, right now, a lead jammer the key for Mass Maelstrom, or for both teams, really. Denton County can lock it up if they can get lead jammer. Mass Maelstrom really needs to get lead jammer for 2 reasons. Because they save the timeout. They're going to want to call off this jam with time on the clock so that they can freeze it and get another jam out of this if they want to win. But that is not going to happen. Johnny West now in control of the clock. Probably won't even need to score any points. But still, you never want to just give it up. And now he doesn't. Now that is probably the final nail. Andy going to the penalty box. Johnny West getting the grand slam, and now he can stop skating right now and just watch the clock or kneel the football. As there's another sport where they do that. Basically, when he goes in for a scoring pass, it's risky because he could get a penalty.
Yeah.
However, that actually still plays into Denton County's favor because there is less time on the period clock than there is on the jam clock. So unless Johnny West decides to be nice and call off the jam before this 20 seconds remaining on the clock, then this is the final jam. And it doesn't look like Johnny West has any intentions of being merciful at all to Mass Maelstrom.
This guy just wants to play roller derby down to the bitter end, and we are rolling there.
And Mass Maelstrom doing the same thing. Collar and Hasselman and Pickering trying their best to keep points off the board. But Johnny West sees the period clock tick down below to 0 and calls off the jam. That is it. Raucous Ron, what do you have to say?
Wow, and Denton County coming in here as the 8th seed will obviously they'll place above that here, vying for the 5th place, 6th place, 5th place game tomorrow against the winner of Puget Sound versus Southern Discomfort. That game coming up next. We're very, very excited to watch that one. These consolation bracket games are sometimes some of the most interesting.
That is a 65-point lead. Still the unofficial final, but Denton County coming in with the upset. They're in position they're going to be vying for 5th place. Next up, as you said, Southern Discomfort versus Portland's Bridgetown Menace.
Oh, that's fun. 2 fun teams. Both these teams know how to play, know how to party too, let me tell you.
That is right. Yeah, and Southern Discomfort coming all the way over from the United Kingdom. Had to cross the Atlantic to get over here, so they're gonna have a lot of motivation to beat Bridgetown Menace, but that's gonna be a tough one. Bridgetown Menace, a fine team, and Southern Discomfort a little I think they're about the same level of experience. They've been around. I think Bridgetown Menace and Southern Discomfort founded in the same year, if I'm not mistaken. But of course, people on Twitter not shy about correcting people. I might be off by one.
No, by all accounts, everyone talking about this upcoming matchup says it's going to be fantastic. And I've got a lot of friends on both teams. Both are fun to watch. In the game you just watched, awesome to see Johnny West score 94 points. That's quite a point total for the young skater. For the Outlaws, we had TJ Binkley scoring 49, as expected. Binkley, an unstoppable force. And Keith Ruchter, 35. Over on the Mass side, a very wide spread of jammers. Mars Travolta with 33, Byron 32, Gaudette 21, and R. Conlon 21. So they couldn't quite, and of course Coulter with 10. He picks those up on the star pass, stars upon bars. But great action despite the score, and for fans of Massachusetts, nothing to be ashamed of. The team came out shorthanded, couldn't even field a full roster, of 14. So good stuff there.
Okay, we're now seeing the victory lap, the consolation lap by Mass Maelstrom. Southern Discomfort getting out there to warm up. Bridgetown Menace is probably going to be joining them momentarily. But that is the final score, 187 for Denton County Outlaws, 120 for 2 for Mass Maelstrom. Outlaws pull off the upset. Mass Maelstrom is going to finish at best 7th if they can win a... Are we doing a 7th place game?
No.
Okay, sorry.
5th is once you lose 2, you're out. So eliminated from the tournament here. But we've got coming up tomorrow. Make sure to tune in for Your Mom Men's Roller Derby against Puget Sound Outcast. That game at 9 a.m. Pacific time, and then the other one is St. Louis versus New York Chalk Exchange. Those two will be competing for the championship, so the winners of those games will go on to the championship at 5 p.m. We're getting ready to kick it down over to Randy Pan on the floor with an interview. I believe he's with Johnny West there, so I think they're about ready to take it away.
But a very exciting first day of the Men's Roller Derby Association Championships here in Tacoma, Washington.
Minor delay over there. Good opportunity to thank Puget Sound Outcast for hosting this. They've done a good job. We've got volunteers from the team all over the floor, so always got to love those host leagues. We're going to throw it over to Randy Pan right now.
I think we are ready.
All right, Randy Pan, the Go Boy here. I am here with Johnny West of the Outlaws here. Welcome to the MRDA tournament. How's it going so far?
It's been all right. Thank you. Yeah.
Excellent. So your first bout was against your mom. How'd you feel going into that, just going into that type of level of play? And how'd you feel at the play there?
I was a little nervous. I mean, they're number one, obviously, but I've skated with a couple of those guys because I'm on Team USA, and it was sort of like meeting old friends. I mean, they're beating me up, but it was a lot of fun. Really enjoyed the experience.
Excellent. So watching the Mass play earlier, what were you expecting going into this game here?
Kind of what happened. Just a lot more physical bout. Bigger guys. They're very aggressive. Strong walls. So yeah, had to fight. So yeah.
They had a nice run in the second half. They got really close. What was going on in the bench while that was happening?
We were just, got a little depressed, but, we held it together. Coach did a good job rallying everyone up, TJ, our captain, and, we just stayed out of the box. That's all we had to do, fix that.
You had a really good game for your team. You came in with over 100 points, or 103 points by our look. What was kind of driving you through that? What was driving you through those jams?
I just, always want to do my best. Today was a little difficult just because I am sick. But just, we wanted to win. We wanted to be that, I think we're the first team to beat a place above us in a tournament at the MRDA, so it's pretty cool.
It's great. You're at least going in. At the very least, you're going to play tomorrow. At least you're coming out number 6. What are you setting up for tomorrow? What do you expect to watch out of this bout here?
We've played Southern Discomfort before, so we kind of know those guys. Bridgetown, we're going to have to study them if they lose. But, I mean, we're going to bring our A game either way.
So we're all looking forward to your A game. Congratulations on your success here. Congratulations on being on the MRDA championships, and you got a lot of fans here this weekend. So looking forward to more tomorrow. So we'll check in with you in just a bit.
We are Deb Null,
and Roxy Settling of Nerd Roller Skates.
Calgary, Alberta's full-service skate shop.
We are roller derby players and roller skate nerds.
And we are here for the people who roll.
Hey, this is Dan from S1 Helmets. We're in the testing lab today testing helmets to see if they pass the multiple impact certification test. We're going to be testing 3 helmets today. A soft foam helmet with EVA foam and a terry cloth liner, the hockey helmet with triple density EVA foam, the S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam. All 3 of these helmets are marketed as multiple impact helmets. We're going to test all of them today and see which ones actually pass the test. The multiple impact test is when we drop a helmet to achieve a velocity of 4.57 meters per second. This simulates a 10-mile-an-hour impact or a 4-foot drop. The same helmet is tested 3 times in the same location. The helmet must reduce the energy pulse to under 300 Gs each time. Anything over 300 Gs can result in a traumatic brain injury or a severe concussion. In summary, the soft foam helmet with EVA foam and the hockey helmet with triple density foam did not pass the multiple impact test. The S1 Lifer helmet with EPS fusion foam did pass the multiple impact test.